Okay. You might have healer aggro, just letting you know. Yeah. Oh my god. Taunting this one. Hopefully we get some threat. 46 priests just died as well. What the hell is happening? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna bring them over here because he's spinning. Bring all the mobs to the spin. And you can hopefully just kill them all. Yeah, the spin is good. It might have been a DC, I'm not sure. Okay, we're good. Nice. So we got one more pack here, then we have these little 4 golems we gotta kill too. Just waiting for some mana, then we can go. Over here because he's spinning. Bring all the mobs to the spin. Yeah, I might need rebuffs as well soon, Tiberius, like Mark of the Wild. We've actually got a lot of XP just from killing mobs though as well, which is really nice. What's the highest level I've died at? My highest death, I think, was 47 on a rogue. I tried to solo Sulfurak, which didn't end that well, as you could probably imagine. Was it 47? It was 46 or 47, I think, something like that. Maybe 48. Around that level. It was 49, okay. Yeah, I died to like I was trying to solo Sulfurak, and then I died to like the Basilisk. I got hit with the gaze and I got stunned. The Basilisk gaze, right? There we go. They do like a gaze, and then they stun you for like 8 seconds. Okay, get some taunt here. Nice, okay. We are chilling, guys. Alright, so now we just need to click on this little stone here. Also the keepers, we're gonna kill these one by one. They do explode when you kill them. Alright. Alright, so just be careful about the explosion. That's really basically it. It shouldn't be too bad though. It hurts a lot. Yeah, it does a lot of damage when they die. Alright, let's go. I think it's only one guy that needs to like channel it. What's my slash blade? I'll show you, mate. It is 3 days and 14 hours for level 44. So we're doing okay. Oh, we need 3 guys to do it. Okay. I'm holding your hand. Yeah, just move a little bit away from it if it is about to die. I mean, it's okay. We should be alright. Just keeping the threat. Bonk. Oof! You saw that explosion? That hurts a lot, man. I should probably go to... Yeah, I am defensive stance, actually. I'm moving for the sword, a Dodge Perfectionist. Yeah, just move out when it's about to die, yeah? Good idea. Gonna take it myself.
What burning?
Okay.
No burning, what the fuck?
Taunting, we're good. Alright, let's go.
Hey, Gizza, thanks for the content. I really love the new mini fridge you sent me. It really matches the remote grid you gifted me in the giveaway. Kamado High.
Okay, bro. I'll give you a fridge. Thank you, though.
It's about to be a white boy summer.
When they're ready to join us now, hands in the air, we will show you how. to target something first. It is too far away. That's recharging. I need a target. I cannot move that right now. That smell isn't really yet.
Jonathan OJ was more than your average police officer. He was a K-9 unit dog handler and worked on SWAT operations for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department with 18 years of experience and an intimidating frame. A stoic and dutiful man, standing at 6 feet and built like a brick house, he wasn't the kind of guy you'd want to mess with and could definitely handle himself in a sticky situation. He'd been a paratrooper in the Special Forces prior to becoming a deputy, and his closest friends described him as tough as nails, serving arrest warrants, engaging in shootouts, and negotiating hostage situations with some truly volatile characters. He'd once scared off a 500-pound black bear during a camping trip with his father-in-law. All that's to say, he was no pushover. It was June 11th, 1998, a Thursday. In 2 weeks, Jonathan would be taking part in the Western States 100-mile endurance race. The run would take him around 20 hours to complete, and it was a long-held dream of his to qualify and compete in it, a true test of one's body and mind. He was going on daily runs to prepare for this challenge. One of his favorite spots to trek through was the Devil's Punch Bowl in the Antelope Valley of California. Jonathan knew the area well, having spent countless hours hiking and camping there over the years. He arrived there at 11:45 a.m., spread a sunshade across the windshield of his truck, and set off for the day's run. Early into it, he came across a teacher and a group of students he had met before during a classroom visitation and talk. He told them he was going to run all the way to the summit of the 9,400-foot Mount Baden-Powell and said that he'd be back around sunset. He wouldn't though. During that fateful day, Jonathan was spotted by 2 local camp employees making his way to the top of the mountain. At around 6 p.m, a third employee spotted a man with a green backpack heading towards the parking lot where Jonathan's truck was parked. Not long after that, a local resident told a park employee he heard a single gunshot come from the punch bowl. 11 p.m. rolled around, and when Jonathan didn't return home that day, his wife became increasingly worried. She contacted the authorities and told them her husband was missing. A search and rescue operation was underway by 11:30. Jonathan's truck was found where he had left it, and it didn't look like anyone had tampered with it. Everyone who knew Jonathan was certain he was fine. They figured he'd just sprained his ankle or something, and that he'd soon come limping back heroically, like he always did. There was no question he could handle the harsh desert environment he was lost in. But when 24 hours passed with no trace of the guy, that certainty started to be replaced by doubt and worry. By the 3rd day, even more officers joined the hunt for Jonathan, and helicopters scouted the landscape from above. Horses, all-terrain vehicles, and thermal imaging equipment was brought in to help find him. The ravines and crevices were scoured with infrared technology. No expense was spared. Still, even with all this manpower behind the rescue operation, Jonathan was nowhere to be found. 2 weeks later, the day of the 100-mile endurance race came and went. Many still held out hope that he'd turn up for the event. He didn't. We don't know what happened to Jonathan on his run that day in June, but there are several compelling theories, ranging from someone taking Jonathan's life, Jonathan taking his own, and the potential that he simply vanished on his own accord to start a new life elsewhere. Let's examine those 3 possibilities. Firstly, if someone did kill Jonathan, who and why? He had definitely made some enemies during his years in the force, that's for sure, but what officer hadn't? If someone took Jonathan's life, then they certainly covered their tracks well, as there haven't been any official suspects to speak of since the case opened, and no evidence was found in the woods at all. Still, the fact that a local resident heard a gunshot moments after someone matching Jonathan's description walked into the parking lot, that's ominous to say the least. There were numerous meth labs set up around the Antelope Valley area back then. A tip even came in from an informant who said that Jonathan discovered something on his jog, and he, quote-unquote, was going to be a hero and was taken care of before being put in a hole. The validity of that tip remains unknown. Several corrupt officers were later discovered to be connected with the labs though, and were protecting the dealers in return for a share of the profits. One of Jonathan's colleagues, Darren Hager, was even kicked out of the force for trying to investigate if any corrupt officers were connected to his disappearance. Before heading out on his run that morning, Jonathan had said to his wife, "Have a nice life. Tell our daughter Chloe I love her." The couple's marriage was in disrepair. They'd been married for 12 years and were privately discussing divorce. At the time, Jonathan's wife assumed that those words meant he was checking out of the marriage officially. Now she believes they may have meant something more, and that he was cryptically letting her know he was about to end his own life. Jonathan's own family and co-workers, however, don't believe that's the case. They say he was a survivalist with a zest for life, and there's no way he'd abandon his daughter like that. A few of his friends remain convinced that he secretly returned to the military for a covert mission. Others, though, think that he may have escaped to Alaska, a place he'd always dreamed of living. It's not like he had a happy home life with his wife anyway. Perhaps he'd had an epiphany atop the mountain and decided it was now or never. His sister is sure that's the case. When she had last seen her brother, he was miserable with living in California, and, in her words, was ready to go, checked out, done. She believes he planned his whole vanishing, and that he had been stashing money away and building a new identity. That it all culminated on that day when he finally made it seem like he'd gone missing. Maybe Jonathan really is still alive and well, living in Alaska. Maybe that gunshot near the punch bowl was a coincidence and nothing more. Maybe we'll never know.
Quality can't be rushed, but your pursuit to elevate your lifestyle can. Rise to the occasion in a new Lexus from Lexus of Sarasota. Browse our world-class lineup of models ready for immediate delivery. Like a new RX with 4.99% financing available. Plus, we're always here to serve you. Our sales department is now open on Sundays. Don't wait. An exhilarating driving experience awaits at the all-new Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road, just west of I-75.
No one's gonna find us, right? There's no halfway with this. Run! We finish what we started.
Let's explore a mystery that's come to be known as the Chinese Hinterkaifeck. All you true crime fans out there will know what that means. On the morning of December 27th, 2007, 2 workers arrive for work at a family lime factory in Huanggang City, China. What they were confronted with when they opened the doors that day is hard to imagine. 8 of their co-workers, some of them their family members, were lying in various locations around the factory, completely butchered. They first discovered their boss's wife lying in a pool of her own blood at the gate of the lime kiln, her throat slashed open. Nearby was her husband, their boss, who appeared to have been stabbed multiple times in the neck and face. The 2 men desperately ran to the dormitory, hoping to find survivors. They only found more horror. Inside the dorms were the bodies of 5 more workers, including a married couple and their 9-year-old child. Detectives later found one final body in a ditch outside the factory. This individual was found near a motorcycle, and it seems likely he was trying to escape the carnage before being chased down and killed. Perhaps he crashed into the ditch by accident, or succumbed to a wound he sustained. Either way, his body too was full of puncture wounds. Nothing was taken from the factory. The investigators decided that the whole killing spree must have taken place between 8 p.m. the following night and 8 a.m. the morning they were discovered by the 2 men. It was determined that those 2 men only survived because they had their own local housing to go home to, and, unlike the other non-local workers, didn't have to sleep at the factory, a common practice in China. What boggles my mind most about this case, though, is that all 8 workers were killed by one perp, and they all died by the same blade. Can you imagine taking the lives of 8 people consecutively like that? How much rage and hate you'd have to have inside you. What on earth was this psycho's motivation? It appears as if he had a clear understanding of the factory's layout and knew to strike when the neighbouring cement factory was being particularly noisy so that nobody outside would hear the workers' screams. Perhaps he was a former worker who had a vendetta against the owner. Perhaps there was only one intended victim and everyone else was just collateral. The use of a knife makes it seem like the killer had a personal grievance to settle. But keep in mind that firearms are hard to come by in China, and slayings there often involve a more personal or creative instrument. For instance, one of the province's most infamous crimes was the murder of 17 via tractor in 2010. Still, how was this perp able to take out 8 people without anyone overpowering him or escaping? Did he attack them stealthily? Hold one of them captive for compliance? Was he an experienced assassin? Was he potentially working with the guy on the motorcycle, but turned against him in the end? In the weeks prior to it, the workers at the factory had reported that some of their possessions were disappearing and then reappearing in random places, as if somebody was coming in and moving them. Could this have been the work of the killer, messing with his future victims? In the 5 years leading up to this case, Chinese forensics and analysis improved leaps and bounds, and the investigators were able to determine that their suspect was 5'5" and wore EU size 40 leather shoes. Despite learning that information, the investigation turned up no suspects, and all these years later, the authorities have no clue who took the lives of those 8 workers, or why they did what they did. Born and raised in Manchester, New Hampshire, Loreen Ann Ram lived a pretty ordinary life for a young teenager. a student at Parkside Junior High. She made good grades and was well liked by her classmates.
It's still recharging.
Back in 1980, she lived with her mother Judith in a third-floor apartment on Merrimack Street. On April 26th of that year, Judith was out of town with her boyfriend. He was a professional tennis player and was taking part in a big tournament. Usually, Lorene would have to join them, but this particular evening, she asked if it would be okay to stay home alone. Judith agreed, saying that she'd be back around midnight and to stay out of trouble. That night, Lorene secretly invited two of her best friends over to the apartment to hang out. One male, one female. The three of them sat around drinking Lorene's mother's wine and having a good night. Sometime into the evening, however, the male friend said he could hear voices coming from the hallway outside the apartment. Worried that it was Lorene's mother coming home early and that they were about to be caught drinking, he hurried out the back door. Lorene locked the door behind him. Judith didn't come in, so it clearly wasn't her making the noises outside. The two young ladies, now alone, thought nothing of the sounds their male friends supposedly heard, and they both went back to drinking and enjoying themselves. Sometime around 1 a.m., Lorene's mother Judith finally arrived back home. She noticed that the light bulbs in the hallway on all 3 floors of the apartment building had been unscrewed, and everything was dark. Now that was strange. Stranger still, the front door to her apartment was already unlocked. She entered and popped her head into Lorene's room. There, she saw her sleeping in her bed. Exhausted, Judith got into her room and fell asleep. The next morning, Judith made a horrific discovery. The girl sleeping in Lorene's bed wasn't Lorene. It was her friend, who had passed out from all of the wine. Lorene was gone. Her clothes, brand new sneakers, and purse were in the living room, and the back door was wide open, something Judith hadn't noticed when she'd arrived home. The friend said that she had last seen Lorene sleeping on the couch. Judith remembered the unscrewed light bulbs in the apartment hallways, and immediately she imagined the worst. She called the authorities immediately. 3 months passed by, and Lorene was still missing. On October 1st, her mother Judith found that she had been charged for 3 California phone calls. She didn't have any friends or relatives who lived in Cali. 2 of the calls had been made from a motel in Santa Monica to another motel in Santa Ana. The 3rd call was placed to a teen support hotline. Judith was sure it was her daughter who had made those calls. The doctor who operated the hotline at first denied knowing anything about it, but in 1985, he changed his story. This doctor said that runaway girls occasionally visited his wife at their home for intimate health checkups, and that at around that time in 1980, one of the young women may have been from New Hampshire. He said that a woman named Annie Sprinkle may have more information about Lorene's vanishing. The cops tracked her down. Annie Sprinkle was formerly a movie star of the more explicit variety, let's put it like that, and detectives sifted through all of her movies in an attempt to spot Lorene. They found no evidence linking Sprinkle to Lorene's disappearance. A private investigator hired by Lorene's mother also learned that a man known only as Dr. Z may have used one of the aforementioned California motels to make several movies using underage actors, though ultimately this lead also resulted in nothing. It's never been categorically proven that Lorene was ever at those motels, or that she made those 3 phone calls. For years after Lorene disappeared, Judith frequently received mysterious phone calls. They always came at around 3:45 a.m., and the caller would only breathe into the receiver. The frequency of these calls always increased around the Christmas holidays, and the unidentified person on the other end of the line never said a word. The identity of this mystery caller remains unknown to this day. 5 years after Lorene's disappearance, the male friend who was hanging out at her apartment that fateful night took his own life. He was never considered a suspect in Lorene's disappearance. Perhaps the strangest thing about this case is this. 6 weeks after Lorene's disappearance, Denise Denault, a young woman who lived only 2 blocks away from Lorene, went missing from a bar in Manchester. Despite their age difference, Denise and Lorene closely resembled each other. That seems like a massive coincidence. Could the 2 cases be linked in some way? This picture shows what Lorene might look like now if she's still alive. She stands at 5'4", has brown hair, blue eyes, and a prominent scar on her upper leg. If you have any information pertaining to her case, please contact the Manchester Police Department.
I mean, he's doing all this stuff. He's still there. It's not like he harked out or something.
If he had thrown some heal from Fahrenheit, though, man, they could just kite this out with Earthbind for an eternity.
Yeah, if you went for the hearth, that would be a pretty disrespectful play.
Back to Asia for this last one. A little known mystery that caught my attention.
They got 2 shamans in this group, right?
Really
that other guy,
resonates
that
with
orc in
me,
front of
because
him
it
was a
happened in a
shaman.
city I
2
used to call
Earthbind
home.
totems getting dropped. Like, there's no way they catch up to
Far
them.
away.
Yeah.
They just keep that guy alive a little longer.
It's so tough though, because it's like it's hard to get everybody on the same page. That like everyone has to like turn and move at full speed in the opposite direction together. Like don't stutter step, don't backpedal, just like turn and
Yeah, no, I'd do the same fucking shit, man, 100%. Every 10 out of 10, bro. I hear my tank screaming from the other room behind a wall. If I'm a rogue, I'm vanishing. If I'm a hunter, I'm fading death immediately, right?
Well, it's a druid. It should have just prowled, man. Just like go prowl real quick, assess the situation, and then decide if he's a div or not.
I think we've talked about this a lot, though. Like, we've talked about this on this chat so many times. Like, different people have different reactions to oh shit situations, right? And in some people's oh shit moment, they want to take charge and become like the leader, right? Like they start shot calling. Like we just kind of saw that with Padding, right? Where he just started calling out shots as a hunter and getting the group out, right, safely. Some people, like me, I'll just vanish on your ass. Right, I'm out. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get my ass out of that dungeon.
I like to keep my friends alive.
Yeah, Tyrannosaur saved my ass in a situation like that.
Yeah,
before.
unless you're a healer and then Tyrannosaur tries to kill you.
Well, yeah,
I was not the healer, so that is true. Yeah, that does check out.
Yeah.
Rest
Carr
in
died
peace.
immediately.
Carr
So yeah.
Yeah.
I made sure Carr died and then I kept Cheesy alive.
Other people can be. Oh yeah, Sugar's in the chat. They're responding, but I'll let them be the heroes for me.
Yeah.
He said,
I
I
honestly
realized
like
leaving the group would make it impossible to target people. Healbot dropped. Never dropped group before. Oh, so you dropped group, you can't heal because your Healbot wasn't registering it as like a target?
Well, you no longer have like party frames and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Sugar necessarily did anything wrong there.
I mean, I would have done the same shit.
Yeah, I think you gotta go back to
I think it's hilarious.
You gotta go back to like what happened to start all that. I think. To really...
Yeah, that poll was not good. You gotta.
That was a rough
poll.
poll.
That room. That's like a reason to not go into that room is because there's a ton of patrols and all those groups are massive. Like
And
they're
you
all.
know, it's my
like,
favorite
6
part of the Hardcore All Stars. The final circuit, you have to do that room because that boss is required.
There you go.
And there's going to be people trying to speed run that room.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Gonna go crazy. It'd be wild. I also have a Zaryu clip. Scribbleton posted a Zaryu clip in the chat. We can watch this one. I haven't seen this.
Back in actual classic, I played a Ret Pally. I wonder for my next hardcore character if I should play a
Foreshadowing?
Ret.
Yeah.
That
Don't
would
do
be
that.
hella nostalgic for me, because that's what I actually played.
I just love auto attacking.
Are we
two
just straight getting owned by 2 pillagers right now? Does he not know that this is a 2-pull?
Nope.
I don't think he knows this is a 2-pull.
Well, rank Frostbolt does that. That's like not doing any
They're
damage.
coming through the dirt.
They're just blowing.
Oh my, I'm so bad! No! Are you kidding me? That is so trash!
Yo,
See,
his
the best
house
thing
is
about this
sick.
too. Yeah, it's not to say. The best thing about this is that like, I feel like someone might look at this and be like, okay, he's playing it up for the content or whatever. But like, if you're a streamer of his size and notoriety and you die at level 14,
you're getting memed.
You're getting memed, and you do not feel good about that. Like,
yeah, you're actually getting. Your chat is gonna be Omega lolling for 5 years.
You're supposed to turn that sound back on.
Oh.
Listen to what he says.
Okay, here.
That is so, I'm so annoyed.
Hey, you pulled 2.
Did I aggro 2? It must have been 2 of them. I didn't have my potion up. It was on cool. Dude, I'm so embarrassed. I'm actually. How do I die at 14? That is so embarrassing, man. No.
It's kind of true though.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Jesus Christ. Yo, Zaryu's got an editor. He's got an editor, boys.
Right, yeah.
All right, I've overstayed our welcome by like a long amount of time. I'm sorry, Tyrannosaur.
Oh, it is worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Tell your family I love them, and I'm sorry.
I will.
Oh,
Yo,
God,
do you
thank
still
you
have
for me,
do you still have the mug that my wife made you?
Yeah, of course I do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I actually drank out of it yesterday.
Oh.
Big fan of that mug. Shout outs to Downriver Pottery.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Worth it.
Did you
If
lose
need
the
any
other one
mugs-
in the split up?
I actually have that one too.
Oh,
That
nice.
yeah, I've got 2 of them now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting. Everyone,
Cheesy
give
doesn't
Tyrannosaur
have
some
one.
love. Give Cheesy some love. Thanks for coming on the show today, guys.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, this is an interesting one.
This is a great strat. I love it. They're pulling it all. No way.
Oh,
no
my
looks like
goodness.
way.
Oh my goodness, this is wild.
All right, there it is. Dropping the target dummies and running forward.
All 5 of them still alive.
It looks like our good friends at the Pagel Pro Shop are going into Nomer right now with a 3-man team. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Is the audio working? Chat, let us know. You know, we do things live. Sometimes things are good, but welcome to Hardcore All-Stars World Tour Circuit 3.
That trailer gets me every time.
Yeah.
Trailer is a banger.
I love farts.
I think we all love farts.
I love farts.
It's actually weird. I woke up today and I had an unnatural amount of farts in my life. So
lucky guy.
Like more than just the one that you should have.
yeah, just normally just +1 to your normal day, you know?
Yeah.
I was seeing in the chat how many teams can still fill a 5-man. It's whittling down. We started the Hardcore All-Stars World Tour with 44 teams? Was that what it was?
I need to
I think we're down to just about 10 or 11.
I think it's like 15 or so.
15? Well, 15, but 10. Like, there are teams that are going to be 3-manning today. There's teams that are going to be 4-manning today. If you guys do !HCAS in the chat, by the way, you can see, I'll try and bring up the board periodically throughout the day. But we can go over the leaderboard as well on the main cast.
The final day, if you make it there with 5 players, you might have a good shot at this thing.
Yeah, honestly,
That's just so interesting.
We've discussed, like, there is definitely a possibility of there's just, like, 2 teams for the final, right?
Oh, man.
Because
I mean,
people are dying.
All we need is 2 teams. You know, that makes it a race.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check the website at hardcoreallstars.com. You can check the leaderboard. Currently, See You Next Circus. They are that team is comprised of Ompi, Calamity, LND Is it Keksex on that team as well? Right?
Keksex, Parla, and Peterson.
Parla and Peterson, yeah, and they're in first place. Second place we have Vidir Enjoyers, which is my favorite team by a long shot. If you guys haven't seen the way that Vidir Enjoyers is doing their previous runs in these circuits, it is incredible. They don't have a tank, and they do 100% of their pulls with target dummies and hunter pet. So they send the pet in, they pull everything in the dungeon, they drop target dummies, and they explode it, and then they move on.
And don't forget the sappers down to like 2% health.
Yeah.
That's been happening quite a lot.
Vidir Enjoyers is by far my favorite team to watch play the game in general. They are amazing. They have a tank. It's a prop paladin. Jordy.
What?
Are prop paladins tanks in Classic WoW?
Opinions.
No.
No.
If you're getting hit, does that make you a tank?
I guess, yeah, true. It might.
So they've got 5 tanks.
It's one of those things where it's like,
Yes,
can they tank? Yes. Are they tanks? No.
The thing with the paladin is that you just don't have a taunt button.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is the taunt, the mana, the itemization, the talents. It's, apart from that, they're pretty good.
Are you a prop paladin if you
Apart from everything.
Apart from everything that makes their class.
There's one or two issues, but yeah.
Is a prop paladin even a prop paladin if they had to go down the holy tree to get to consecration?
Oh yeah, it's true. They don't even get it baseline, do they? Oh my.
No.
How did Blizzard design them thinking it was going to work?
I don't know if they. I don't
Genuinely.
know.
I did a 5-man with a prop pally off tank yesterday, and it was awesome. Like, it was super fun, but you need the taunt, right? Like, if there's a knockback, then something is on somebody else, and you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I played one of my alts in Classic was indeed a prop paladin, and I successfully tanked Onyxia with that prop paladin.
Cool.
Hey, that's good going.
Yeah. Greater Blessing of King spam for that threat. It was not cheap. It was not cheap to play that character. I was burning through seals nonstop.
Helps too if the target's undead, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my ult in Classic was Paladin, and Strat Undead was great. Like it's you're really good in that. Exorcism's a taunt if you have Righteous Defense up more or less.
Yeah.
Anything else, like Diamol, I'd be like, I'm kind of busy,
Okay, if we're playing a paladin, is it even a paladin if it's not a dwarf?
Hey, mine was a male dwarf.
Yeah,
So.
there you go. It's on brand for you, Willie. You look. I was seeing someone in chat said your beard is Ironforge approved.
I approve of that.
Yeah, which is.
Yeah.
So going down the list here, we have no CC in third place currently, and the discrepancy between third and first is actually pretty minimal. If you look at the points over here, we got 452, 440, 434. The way the points work is similar to other circuited esport or even IRL, sporting events, right? The better you do, the more points you get across all of the circuits. So let's say CNX Circus has a really bad day today, no CC or Super Lethal Outstanding Warriors, aka slow. So let's say they have a wonderful day today. These positions will slide up and down pretty easily. There's 2 circuits left after this circuit, right? There's circuit 4 and then the finale. And the potential upset, if anyone dies, is going to be massive because you never know, right? You could be down here on like and subscribe 9th place, and then Vidir Enjoyers might just die today, and then not be able to make it to the next circuit. So we had between circuit 2 and circuit 3, which is today, we had the longest gap in time. All the players had 3 weeks to gain, 10 levels. So that's not incredibly difficult to do. Moving on from here, though, I believe circuit 4 is 2 weeks from today. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Only I'm not.
No, that's correct. That's correct.
And then 2 weeks after that is the finale. So it's gonna be.
And circuit 4 is at 51, I want to say, and then circuit 5 is at 59.
Yeah, so we will be seeing all the teams that are still alive and surviving, walking into Lower Blackrock Spire, BRD, Dire Maul East, all of which they'll probably hit 60 in the first dungeon, and then and Strat UD. Yeah, dude, the finale is going to be one heck of a show, and that'll be back over on Sar's channel hopefully. But yep, you can check the leaderboard on the website. Here's the teams that have not made it. They are no longer in the running. They've either died or they lost the war of attrition. Shout outs to Mischievous Rural Squirrels, and also there was no Shark. That was No Hit Jerome's team. sadly died, and they they never went again.
I do technically. I want to say technically they are allowed to just show up one of these days and play if they want to pump out some characters and make it.
Wouldn't that be funny if
Maybe
they
they're
showed up for the
leveling
finale? Yeah, they're all leveling right now
Reborn.
just to get to 59 for the finale.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
I did want to make one comment, Winky, on how much things could shake up even today. Our first and third place teams, CNX Circus and OCC, both had their sixth players die too late in these 3 weeks for them to level up all the way back up. So they're going in with 5 people, no sub. They've had to change their strategies, change their plans for comps. And when you're dealing with losing an important sixth person, that ability to switch classes between dungeons, some of these teams who have been really trying to find their way up toward those upper ranks in the bracket could, find their opportunity today.
Yeah, so I can take this time. This is a good moment, I think, to just go over in general. If you're new here, maybe if you've never seen what's going on with the World Tour, just a general broad overview of what the Hardcore All-Stars is, what the World Tour is, just to get the day started off. We're all on the same foot, right? So Hardcore All-Stars is a collaboration of a bunch of hardcore players, hardcore streamers, or anything in between, doing events. So there's the World Tour, which is today. This is one of the many events Hardcore All-Stars does. We've done PvP events. There's a mock Garra where you level characters and you fight to the death. There's dungeon drafts. So you've got like Wailing Caverns, Deadmines, RFC, where you have 8 hours till anyone can enter. They level up for 8 hours. At the end of that, they draft teams and they speed run through the dungeon, and the first team to make it to the end wins. And today is the World Tour, which is the overarching large circuited format event. So we've split people up into circuits. They created teams. They all started at level 1. They're leveling as hardcore characters, of course. Death equals delete, solo self found, and they are twinking themselves out at specific level brackets, in which then we meet up on game day. Everybody runs through the dungeons. It's a speedrunning tournament. And then if they survive that speedrunning tournament, they get points for the dungeons they completed. And then they level to the next maximum bracket. And then they wait until the next tournament day. Which is why we've been seeing a lot of preparation. Like the last circuit, we saw all these warriors going for Whirlwind Axe 10 levels below the quote-unquote safe point to actually get Whirlwind Axe. This is how the fishing meta was born. People are sitting there max level for their bracket, and they're fishing for 200 hours to try and get best in slot rolls on buy non equip greens. It's been a really, really interesting time. I don't know if I could do it, to be honest. I'm super glad that I'm on the casting end of things, because the amount of effort and time that you're putting into this is, I don't even know if I can do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not the highest count in days played so far, but I just saw today on Ompy's pre-game stream, he's already up to 10 days played on his 43 mage.
And he hasn't died. I mean, we've seen...
It's a lot of fish.
How many times has Graze for Days died?
7.
I think...
So many
I
times,
think 1 or 2 of them were because he just forgot to install add-ons, like the hardcore add-on, which you need to verify that you haven't died, but... Still, having to start over, even at level 10, that many times, that's got to be draining.
It's been very interesting. We actually have a recent death clip from him that I could pull up whenever we're ready to watch that, because this was 2 days ago. He was level 41 and he was getting ready to make it for today's event, and it's just, if you die, it's crazy, because you not only feel that pain of the hardcore character dying, but you're also really letting your team down. So it hurts even worse, right? Because it's very important to get to the max level required for the dungeon runs, and then start twinking your character out. And then if you die, you got to start over. The Hardcore All-Stars rules, they say that you're not allowed to change class, right? You can make a new character, but you cannot change your class. You can't change your professions. So he was I think this is his second death level 30 plus, and it's like you have to do all your professions. Like there's Dustbone was saying that it took Dustbone when he died, he got back to level, and then it still took him another 10 hours of doing alchemy to get his professions caught up.
The team aspect of hardcore, which not everyone is necessarily going to touch when they're playing this normally, is such a interesting part of the whole process, because you put yourself in other people's hands and vice versa, and then as a team, like you have to trust your fellow player. You have to trust that they're doing what they're doing. You're not playing tired. You're not playing hungry. All these things. It's like you're like an athlete, and it's such an interesting change of pace from just like grinding MMOs. You know what I mean?
It is too far away.
Hand off your taxes to an expert you can trust and get your biggest refund. Let an expert do it for you. With Turbo.
Welcome guys to the first fishing episode in my survival guide series. Today we're going to be looking at the tier 1 fishing location off the coast of the Barrens. This spot can be fished safely at level 10 and requires a minimum 50 fishing skill, and with a lure of 50 and a skill over 100, you're not going to miss any of your casts. There's other fishing locations such as Dark Shore, Silver Pine Forest, and Westfall which fall in this tier 1 fishing location, and they drop the same loot from the trunks. This spot in particular is unique because of the tier 2 weapon crates that spawn along the coast and respawn every 10 minutes. After fishing this location for 1 hour, I was able to retrieve 6 weapon crates with the use of the Dwarven racial treasure finding and nearly tripled my profits. So let's take a look at what we received in 1 hour of fishing at this location. If you're doing a solo self-found hardcore run and not using the auction house, trading, or using the mailbox, fishing each of these locations can provide you with key materials and additional gold for trading abilities or buying vendor weapons along the journey. In 17 boxes I received 12 silver and raw gold, and after vendoring everything inside, an additional 50 silver. Light leather can only be fished out of these tier 1 crates, and you need 6 to craft flying tiger goggles if you're mining and engineering. Additionally, you'll need 4 medium leather for the upgraded green tinted goggles, and later on heavy leather for tier 2 target dummies. We ended up with 46 light leather, 10 medium leather, lots of bolts of linen and wool cloth, 3 green items, 4 lesser healing potions and 8 minor mana potions, some strangle kelp, 62 blackmouth oils, and 3 Rumsey Rum Light. Now for the 6 weapon crates we picked up, I was able to vendor the gray weapons for a gold and 15 silver. So in 1 hour we farmed 1 gold, 75 silver, stocked up on health and mana potions, stored away some 15-minute stamina buffs for difficult quests, and had a chance at some green item upgrades. I found that after fishing the coast for 1 hour non-stop, around the 50-minute mark it felt like I exhausted the respawns, and with 1 or 2 other people fishing the coast at the same time, it won't be nearly as lucrative as what you see in this video. I did it with no competition. If you have an hour to spare, this is what you can expect to retrieve fishing off the coast in the Barrens. Thank you guys for watching, like the video, and don't forget to check out my other survival guide videos in the description below. So there's this debate between which faction's easier to level in hardcore. Is it Horde or Alliance? A lot of people will make the argument that Alliance has more difficult routing when it comes to questing. You're constantly traveling across the world to different zones in the lower levels, whereas Horde, they just stay in the Barrens from levels 10 to 25, which they're not wrong.
Alliance has to do the wetland skip and risk dying to a Crocolisk or a Murloc just outside of Menethil Harbor, but Alliance also have Paladins, which in vanilla are considered god tier when in the right player's hands. But regardless of routing or class or race differences, I want to talk about Horde-specific quests that only reward items to the Horde side, and unfortunately the Alliance don't have access to. The two items we're talking about, of course, are Slumber Sand and Really Sticky Glue. In order to get the Sticky Glue, every Horde player needs to gather 8 Crawler Mucus and 4 Makura Eyes. This makes the routing on my Tauren or Undead hardcore runs really fun, because when I make the trek all the way over to Durotar, I like to train fishing by the nearby fishing trainer, and I make sure to pick up the Slither Skin mackerel recipe from the nearby vendor as well. I like to power level my fishing and cooking to 50 while I'm out on this coast. It only takes about 10 minutes, and I get my fishing skill to 50 at this point. I like to train my fishing to level up to 150, and then I like to either fish pools in the Barrens, or you can check out this video over here where I go to my secret honey hole spot in Stone Talon Mountains. You should check it out. When completing the Solvent Spirit quest, you'll receive your 10 extremely valuable sticky glues. This item can be the difference between saving a couple days played on your character or having to re-roll again at level 1. There's no cast time, so you can throw this from ranged while you're on the run, but it does share a cooldown with the engineering explosives, as well as the next item we're talking about, Slumber Sand. In order to get Slumber Sand, you need to do a 2-part quest in Tearsful Glades. First, you're going to need to get 5 Darkhound Bloods, and then you'll be tasked to get 8 Murloc Fins to the north. Both of these quests require you to kill mobs level 7 to 9, so if you're an Undead or Tauren, I really recommend you complete these quests no later than level 12 in order to gain a bit of experience while also improving your survivability to 60 by a ton. When looking at these items side by side, they definitely have their unique uses. Sticky Glue roots the NPC in place and only lasts 10 seconds. If the mob's a caster or a hunter type who shoots from ranged, you may want to opt to use your Slumber Sand to mitigate incoming range damage. Slumber Sand lasts 20 seconds long, but you've only got 5 uses. Both of these items are OP for leveling, and just more fuel to the fire for the Alliance Andes who like to boast about the fact that they have a more difficult leveling experience to 60. So which faction do you think is easier to level to 60? Is it Horde? Or the filthy Alliance getting hard carried by Pallies? Always the Paladins. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed the
Any painter can paint, but only CertaPro painters have the power. The power of showing up on time and fully caffeinated. The power of estimates.
Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, look at Imagine, dude. Imagine. It has 4 more spell power than mine, and more spirit. Technically, it's epic. I would love to loot an epic. What is going on here?
Thank you, dog. You are a fucking legend. That is absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Hell, thank you those 5 gifts as well, man.
Are you linking me a clip of Peekaboo getting hundreds of gifted subs? Are you trying to rub it in? I don't know what's going on.
I need to get closer.
What? Stafford Jordan, bro. If I get Stafford Jordan, I'm gonna do a backflip or something. Okay, I'm kidding. That was sarcasm. I'm not gonna actually backflip.
Zar wouldn't have accepted the escort. Zar would never risk some shit like that. He would never. Zar would never do something like that. What we're doing, and we're risking it all live on Twitch television for the biscuit. Zar is killing gray mobs to level up.
Is this man even kept it locked in on my YouTube channel? I'm soloing elite quest that no one else has done. That everyone else was scared of. I'm doing 360 wand no scope fadeaways off the edge of a boat to complete my quests. This guy's level 25 on one of the easiest possible classes in hardcore. He can vanish out anytime he wants. Evasion, health pots, gouge, sprint, bandages. This is unbelievable. He's level 25. I'm level 44. I'm not going to take any more of this until Grippage passes me in level. That's it. That's it. No scope. Yo, have you guys seen the recent YouTube video?
that confuses you, educate yourself. If that makes you mad, leave. Simple. This was followed up with a Snapchat post titled "Tucker chose to slay" this morning, including a photograph of his son wearing heels. And man, the internet was not happy. Calling him a groomer, saying he shouldn't have kids, saying this is indoctrination, that Chris is only trans thanks to the internet, and if it wasn't for his online presence, him and his wife would still be together and he wouldn't have left his family. But in fairness to Chris, he has stated online, "I used to go to Jimmy's for internet access. It wasn't the internet or people or anything. It was me seeing the clothes in my sister's closet at 5. And knowing I enjoyed wearing those clothes. The next 21 years was for learning about gender dysphoria." If you like this video, please do consider subscribing.
Love it. Thank you.
Well, folks, Mr. Beast is the...
No, I'm not. No. Oh.
I don't have a target.
Outrage is growing today over the senseless shooting of a 16-year-old boy, all for ringing.
You've been in an accident and you're hurt. It's time to get serious.
We've won over $500 million for our clients.
Seriously, don't you want a law firm like ours on your side?
Call us today or go to justicepays.com.
Everyone is talking about Spectrum One. Matt, give us a download.
Clarissa, people are switching because Spectrum is offering...
Well, folks, Mr. Beast is the top YouTuber on planet Earth. His videos are really, really watchable, beautifully produced, really entertaining, but now he's got a major problem. Many people who are sort of outside the YouTube sphere have no idea who Mr. Beast is, but Mr. Beast is the single most popular YouTuber on YouTube, meaning he has tens of millions of followers. A huge number of people follow his videos. Even if you're not sort of a routine YouTuber, you've probably seen some of his videos. He very famously, a couple of years ago, for example, did a remake of Squid Game in which he actually hired a bunch of people or offered a bunch of people to take part in Squid Game. They're then shot with paintball guns. His videos are incredibly well done. They've been viewed hundreds of millions of times each. We're talking about billions and billions of views for Mr. Beast. He's a very young guy. He's like 24, 25 years old. His actual name is Jimmy Donaldson. And the entire sort of drive of his show is that he does these incredibly creative videos, very clickable videos, and very often he does things for charity in his videos as well. We've talked about him on the show before, helping to donate money so that people who are going blind can actually have surgery, or making sure that people in Africa have shoes. There's some really cool stuff on his YouTube channel. The entire sort of vibe of his show is that he and some of his friends, sort of the bros, they're constantly going and they are doing things together. It's him and his team of friends. Well, now Mr. Beast has a problem. Mr. Beast's problem is that one of his co-stars, his longtime friend Chris Tyson, has decided that he is now a woman. Now, normally, this isn't really a problem, right? You got a friend, your friend decides that they're a woman. That's a you issue, right? I mean, that's just a question for you in your life. How are you going to handle that? But the problem is, for Mr. Beast, that Chris Tyson is actually a member of the cast. Chris Tyson is a person who was part of sort of the bro crew, and now he is saying that he is gender transitioning into becoming a woman. And for people who are fans of Mr. Beast, this sort of changes the dynamic a little bit. Sort of changes the dynamic. Right? If you are somebody who watches Mr. Beast regularly, and suddenly a bunch of bros are interrupted by one guy who is pretending to be or believes that he is a woman, it changes the dynamic in rather stark ways, especially given the fact that Chris Tyson has in the past made sort of transgender jokes about transgenderism. Well, a little while ago, a few months ago, he decided that he was going to begin hormone replacement therapy, and he started looking significantly less masculine on camera and significantly more feminine on camera. Now, listen, if you were running a TV show, which is essentially what Mr. Beast is doing, if you're running a piece of entertainment, then typically what you do is you cast for roles, right? Now, on YouTube, because it's all about authenticity, very often they're just sort of your friends. But the reality is the dynamic created is a dynamic that is for the cameras. And so typically speaking, let's say that you were running a show, other than the Umbrella Academy, and one of your stars decided they were a member of the opposite sex. What would you do? Well, you would probably just say, well, you don't get to be in the show anymore because the dynamic of the show has changed. And that has nothing to do with bigotry. That has to do with the dynamic and success of the show. Not only that, if you were actually friends with somebody, if one of my close friends were on camera with me and they decided to make a radical life shift, they wouldn't expect me to continue to put the success of my career on hold or at risk because they were making a personal life decision. In other words, it's not my job to make room for you on this particular show because you've decided to make a life decision that now cuts directly against the entire dynamic of the show. Now, I mentioned the Umbrella Academy a moment ago on Netflix. They've run into serious trouble because the Umbrella Academy started off with Ellen Page, a woman, playing a girl on the show, like a straight woman on the show. And then Ellen Page decided that she was a lesbian, and so they actually added a lesbian storyline in the middle of Umbrella Academy. And then Ellen Page decided that she was Elliot Page, a man, and so then they turned the entire character into a male. And that just doesn't work. I mean, it's ridiculous and it's silly. But that's exactly what is sort of now expected in the entertainment world, is that everyone who casts these shows, they have to treat people who completely change their entire identity as completely unfireable. Like, absolutely unfireable. So all this began, again, when Chris Tyson started to change his appearance on the show to appear more feminine, and then started tweeting out publicly about the benefits and wonders of gender-affirming healthcare. So Chris Tyson tweeted out, and again, he's changed his entire Twitter profile, so now he has sort of an illustration of himself looking like a woman, although he doesn't look anything like that in real life. He looks like a dude who's wearing some makeup and has some long hair. He says, informed consent, HRT, that'd be hormone replacement therapy, saved me and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people, gender non-conforming people, have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies. And people started pointing out, well, Chris, you know, when you make life decisions, it actually has impact on other people. See, this is the magnificent narcissism of modern society, is that we decide that the personal life decisions that make us feel better in the cockles of our heart, these are the things that really matter in life, not our relationships with other people, not, in Chris Tyson's case, the relationship that he has with his wife and his kid. He has a wife and he has a kid. Let me just express something to you right now. If you decide that your feelings of comfort and gender identity are more important than your relationship with your wife and your child, you are being selfish. This is true for everyone. If you're a man and you decide that you're going to cheat on your wife because, listen, it makes you feel better about yourself. You're hitting your 40s, and now it's time for that midlife crisis, and you decide to go get a younger model and take that for a ride. Well, that is you being a bad person. That is you being a narcissist. That is you ignoring the actual priorities in your own life. Life is about what are you going to sacrifice on behalf of the people who mean the most to you. It is not about you feeling the best you can feel on the interior of you, especially because that's a really subjective feeling, and it turns out it's incredibly transitory. Not only is it transitory, when you're telling lies to yourself, it's incredibly damaging. When you're telling yourself a lie that you're a member of the opposite sex, and meanwhile, completely destroying, presumably, your relationship with your wife, and also completely confusing your own child, that actually is a bad thing to do. This should not be a controversial statement, because again, this is true for everyone. Gay, straight, gender non-conform, whatever you are, your top priority is providing for your child a level of stability and understandability to the world. And to your spouse, your highest commitment is to being the best husband or the best wife to your spouse that you can be. This does not involve you seeking yourself. You seeking yourself is a 1960s, 1970s garbage construct in which your own personal priorities take priority. Okay, in any case, some people pointed out that, you know, this changes the dynamic of Mr. Beast's show. That this actually is a problem for Mr. Beast's show. So Mr. Beast was now caught between a rock and a hard place. Because what our woke society has now created is a rock and a hard place, not for Chris Tyson, whose choice this was in the first place. You know, whatever he chooses to do with his own family, he is free to do, although I am also free to morally criticize that thing. Because again, anybody who places their own priorities above those of their family is doing the wrong thing. We'll get to that momentarily. First, as you may have noticed, the economy is getting worse by the day. It's time to change your spending habits. Well, if you haven't changed the way you buy meat yet, you really, really should. I'm going to give you 3 reasons to subscribe to Good Ranchers. First, Good Ranchers is giving you free bacon for a year. That is £1.50 of bacon in every single box. That is a $240 value. Second, Good Ranchers offers a price lock guarantee, meaning when you subscribe, your price doesn't change for the length of your subscription. When the price of meat is expected to increase by another 4.5% in the coming year, this could be a massive savings for you and your family. And third, Good Ranchers meat is unlike any other meat. They're all natural burgers, USDA prime steaks, better than organic chicken, will change your standard for great meat. They actually went way out of their way. They somehow obtained for me a kosher steak, and then they prepared it the way they would a non-kosher steak. Let me tell you, it was an amazing, amazing steak. So,
That ability isn't ready yet.
I'm just telling you, their quality of meat is fantastic. Head on over to goodranchers.com. Use my code Ben for $20 off your.
I cannot move that right now.
We're going to hit the DNC at Watergate. You are White House employees. Don't get cocky.
This isn't a coffee, it's a trophy. Caramel chocolate cold brew, velvety chocolate cold foam, cocoa caramel crumbles. Whatever you did to deserve this must have been super impressive. Because this is, well, just look at it. The new caramel chocolate cold brew from Dunkin'.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you some hardcore classic. It's getting very, very popular. The servers are getting full. I'm on a server called Blood Cell Buccaneers, and there's an add-on called Hardcore that you can download, and then, you know, it keeps track of your progress, and you join a hardcore guild. There's a lot of rules in place. They're a little extreme, like you can't group up with other people unless you have to choose it at the beginning. And then if you die, you have to delete your character. So it's been a really fun experience. Most people die like around level 14, so there's always constantly people making new characters. So that, you know, the starting zones are crowded. There's actually lines to do mobs and stuff that have spawn timers. But it's been a very fun experience, and I've been using an add-on. I've been using the hardcore add-on. I've been using another add-on called VoiceOver. Those are the two best add-ons you got to get. And then I don't know exactly the server on EU, but I know there's a server on EU. But on US, it's Blood Cell Buccaneers. And then you join a hardcore guild, and then that's it. Now, Blizzard might actually, because of the popularity in Classic, Blizzard might actually make a server this hardcore. They might actually do it. I mean, so far so good. We've gotten like a couple tweets and stuff, so it like insinuating this is going to happen. So very excited about that. Now, there's also a downside to this hardcore. There's also trolls, and there's stream snipers, and there's an appeal process. Like if you do get ganked by a troll or stream sniper, because you record the footage, and there's an appeal process through the website of the add-on that's for hardcore, and they have a Discord server, and the appeal process is usually pretty fast. And if it's someone like pulling mobs toward you and causing you to die on purpose, then yeah, you can get that appeal. Then you can res your character. You don't have to delete it. But Blizzard's going to be doing these hardcore servers, and what you're about to see, like, it concerns me, because on the hardcore servers you die, there's no appeal process. I mean, Blizzard's not gonna. I don't think Blizzard's gonna have an appeal process, to be honest. So this is a troll attempt on my character. They actually whispered me, and it's a guild called the Troll Squad. they whispered me and said, incoming dragon. And I'm like, wait, what? And sure enough, a dragon and a mayhem happened. And we're all trying to run back to Stormwind. I managed, you're going to see, you're going to understand once you see this clip. And I did some of the most epic juking left and right. And I managed to make it back to Stormwind. It was incredible. That's why I'm posting this clip. I'm so happy that I made it alive. Now, afterward, I went back out and I continued doing questing, and they eventually got me. But that's on Twitter. I posted that one on Twitter. So yeah, here it is, guys. I got trolled in epic fashion. Hope you enjoy.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Your unique tax situation deserves an expert who's just right to do your taxes.
You were the first ever guest on this podcast, episode number 1. So first of all, Max, I just have to say thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for starting this journey. It's been an incredible journey. Just thank you for sitting down with me and just acting like I'm somebody who matters, that I'm somebody who's interesting to talk to. And thank you for doing it. That meant a lot.
Thanks to you for putting your heart and soul into this. I know when you delve into
Okay. Those are lessons of psychology. We can talk about the detriment of hedonism rationally. Why do we need a magic power or book to tell us it's wrong when you can explain scientifically why it's damaging? Crunchynuts, you're probably a smart guy. You're probably an above average IQ guy. You're probably introspective. You need to understand that if that is your personality type, you are exceptional. You cannot overestimate humanity. That's a mistake. That's a classic mistake of smart people, smart, introspective, philosophical people, is projecting their own intellect and mindset and approach to life onto humanity as a whole, and that's a very big mistake. Most people do not operate that way. Most people don't. Like I said, I think it's entirely possible to come to a lot of really good conclusions through deep thought, a lot of different types of philosophy. I think it's totally possible through personal introspection. It's entirely possible. It's not impossible like maybe some Catholic person would have you believe. It is possible, but for most people it's not. For most people it's not. For some people it is. For most people it's not. And I think when you're, this is a, let's talk MMO design. When you're balancing an MMO, when you're designing an MMO, you need to design or balance an MMO to appease the 99% of people and not the 1% of highly skilled God game or mythic raiding players. Okay? When you're balancing a raid, you need to balance it around 99% of people playing the raid and not the 1% of top tier world first raiders. Okay? So ideologically, you might be a top tier world first raider in regards of your approach to life. You're deep, you're introspective, you're thoughtful. Most people are not. Most people are bumbling through life. They need something. They need a structure given to them. That's what I think.
Any raiders?
That's what I think. If you're balancing life, if you're balancing the culture of your nation or the state of your society, you need to balance your society around the masses. That's what I think. I need 6 more of these. What were Jesus' pronouns? I don't know. I didn't ask him. I wasn't there. If I ever meet the guy, I'll ask him for you. Okay, I'll let you know. Scorpions. Lord/Savior. Yeah, there you go. Lord/Savior. Okay. Raised as Orthodox Christian, but now I consider myself an atheist. I live by the rule, treat others like you want to be treated, but I agree with you. People need to be, need a shepherd in their life. Yeah. I think you're right. Like, this is a... If you're a thoughtful, introspective guy, this will blow your mind. You might argue with me on this. Most people are not able to arrive at the idea, treat others as you would like to be treated on their own. Most people can't get to that, as basic of a premise as you think that might be. Most people can't get even there on their own. Which is kind of demoralizing and depressing. But it's true. It's true. Okay, I need 10 billion Scorpio boys. Oh, I can do Bone Collector and get that necklace. Oh, good, shit, good. I'm gonna do that right now. I got a really good necklace for doing this. Good necklace. There's also, I think there's an IQ thing. I don't think this, I know this. So one of the signs of having high IQ is a concept of delayed satisfaction or delayed gratification. If I do this maybe unpleasurable thing today, I will really reap rewards a month from now. I'm gonna really appreciate that I did this unfun thing today. 1 month from now or a year from now, I'm gonna be really happy I did this, right?
We're sitting on a gold mine here, I tell you.
And then, you know, inversely, the lower IQ you are, the less you can grasp that concept, meaning the more in the moment you are living. Lower IQ, you're more in the moment. You're confined to impulsively living in the moment. There was a guy in front of a judge. I saw he committed a crime. I think it was a murder. This was a couple months ago. I was watching some court proceeding on YouTube. It was a guy in front of a judge, and this guy must have been incredibly low IQ. This guy had to have been like fucking 80 IQ, 75 IQ, okay, like really bad. He killed someone, I believe. And this guy... how can I explain to you what I saw? He was trying to explain to the judge that he could not have possibly killed that man a month ago because he is here right now. He was genuinely trying to make this argument that I'm here right now in the courtroom. What do you mean I killed a guy a month ago? I couldn't have done that because I'm here right now in the moment. What do you mean I didn't do that? Because I'm here. What do you mean? And that actually was his argument. He's sitting here arguing with the judge. And it's a reminder, wow, those people are out there. And of course it's a scale of intellect on which he's very low. but there are people out there that are completely prohibited from forethought, planning, premeditated life decisions. Those people exist, and I think it's easy to forget that those people are out there. Because I'll be honest, if you're watching Twitch, if you're playing MMOs like World of Warcraft, the premise of which is entirely based around delayed gratification, by the way. Like, what do you do in an MMO? You do boring things today so you can benefit a week from now. That's the entire premise of a fucking MMO. MMOs are necessarily high IQ games. That does not mean that everyone that plays MMOs are high IQ, but generally I think MMOs are probably one of the highest IQ video game demographics. Probably. Given that's the entire premise and objective of MMOs. And so if you're watching Twitch, you're playing MMOs, you listening, you probably have above average IQ social circles, you have above average IQ friends, you probably have above average IQ hobbies, your family is probably above average IQ, you're probably living a complete, holistic, above average IQ life. Which might seem unbelievable for some of you guys, but that's probably true. Which means you have, based on your above average IQ, you have self-selected away from people that are below average IQ. But for every you that has 115 IQ, there's an equal number of people that are 85 IQ. And those 85 IQ people are they're something else. Like, they are really something else. And it's easy to forget that those people exist because you are living in your high IQ bubble. Because you've got a high IQ job, you've got high IQ friends, you've got high IQ friends, you've got high IQ hobbies, you've got high IQ spout, you've got a high IQ girlfriend, whatever, right? You're in your bubble. And you're not really associating with those people, but they're out there. You're in your high IQ echo chamber, yeah. If I pull a ghost, I'm just gonna fucking run away. How about that? Just gonna run away. Yeah. Oh, this is fucking scary, dude. Oh my god, this is fucking scary. Okay, it leashed off. Holy shit, that's... I was gonna say, if this thing doesn't leash off, like, I'm fucked. I am fucked. Okay. I'm fucked. Have you taken a legit IQ test? So no, I'll be honest. I've taken the 45-minute long Mensa practice test. It's online. If you want to actually take an IQ test, it's you need to take it in person in front of a trained IQ tester professional. That's the only legit test you can take. It's an actual thing in real life, but I've taken the 45-minute online one, which is, I don't know, probably a decent approximator. I feel like it's okay to I'm okay to, like, you know, talk about IQ theory, whatever you want to call that, but I think generally anyone that is flexing their IQ online is that it always ends up being kind of cringe. Can I get away from this guy? Go, 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 go. Do I need 10 of these? Dude, this is fucking scary doing this. I do not like this. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you. Okay. 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 I watch Stasis, that means I have instant 200 IQ. You think there has ever been an actual... Is there anyone that actually has had 200 IQ? That's like insanely high. Your IQ is so high that, like, you can't even form a fucking sentence because you're so, like, autistically... You're like a maximum level autistic savant if you're that high. They can't even speak. The entire English lexicon is not even adequate to express their thoughts. Their thoughts are so gigabrain that English can't even be used to express them. That's how high their IQ is. The entire language will not suffice. They're using fucking telepathic methods. Ooh, hello. Hello. IQ only measures your conformism. Doesn't have much to do with intellect. Well, that's not right. Well, that's totally wrong. IQ measures problem-solving capability. Your capacity to solve puzzles and problems. Yeah, and recognize patterns. That's what IQ is testing. Okay. I'm gonna go over there. Where's that ghost? I think I'm good just to go. It is pattern recognition. The appropriately named Marilyn Vos Savant is in a class of her own. According to Guinness World Records, her astonishing IQ of 228 is the highest ever recorded. The daughter of an Italian-German immigrant, Vos Savant was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1946. Oh, fuck. guy is like deeply racist. He's the highest IQ American right now, and he's deeply racist. Kanye is 200. Yeah, Kanye is 200 plus. There's no doubt about that. True. So true. So true. So true. So true. What about Bobby Fischer? Bobby Fischer was a chess prodigy and incredibly high IQ. I think he's ethnically Jewish, and then he disavowed his faith and ethnicity, and then became anti-Semitic. He was an anti-Semitic Jewish person. Bobby Fischer. I'm gonna get this. Chess prodigy, chess savant. Do people say he's the best chess player of all time? Or is there someone better now? Like, is Magnus Carlsen better than him? I'm not a chess guy. I don't know. Is that ghost gonna fuck me up? Yeah, I'm not going that way. Okay. So, is Carlsen actually the best chess player to ever live? Is that like, widely recognized? Is that actually true? Amazing. 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 I'm gonna run that way if I get a ghost. You know what they say? What do they say? You know, I said, you know what they say? What do they say, though? I forgot what they say. They say... being good at chess is a true sign of discipline. Being amazing at chess is a sign of a wasted life. Something to that effect. Which is, you know, there's probably some truth there, actually. Probably. I'm gonna run that way. That's the way I'm gonna run. This quest gives actually a fucking insane necklace, like absolutely insane necklace. It's gonna be good for me. You know the curious thing about Christ and his race, what he looked like? There are like Roman letters and Roman documents describing Christ that said he had... I'm gonna get canceled if I say this because this is gonna sound totally like one way, and I really do not give a fuck, but... I really do not give a fuck. Genuinely, I don't. But there are Roman documents and Roman letters saying that he had blonde hair and blue eyes. But I don't know if... I don't know how historically, like, how can I put this? Maybe those letters have been discredited or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea if those are, like, historically acknowledged. Also, I'm not a Jesus boy, so I really don't care. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Uh-oh, not good. That's what we don't want. That's that shit I don't like. Dodge. Good shit. My man. Good shit. I think I'm good now. We made it. Okay, I need one more of these, I believe. One more. Right there. Okay, no ghost, no ghost, no ghost, no ghost. No ghost. No ghost. I hate when people argue about what Jesus looked like. It doesn't matter. You know, not me. Not me at all in any way possible. But The reality is, I think most people on this planet, yeah, no, you can like actually quantitatively